puris. Hi, I'm Anupa and I welcome you to Sanjeev Puri and a warm welcome to a series of cooking for beginners. By now you must have learned how to make a basic dough to make roti and paratha. Now let's graduate and make puris. The puffed Indian bread, which is deep fried, goes extremely well with chole. So here's a recipe of making puri. Puri needs little bit of trick, and what is the trick I will show you. So first let's see what are the ingredients we need to make puri. We need about 1 cup of whole wheat flour, salt to taste, oil to deep fry. Okay, so to begin with, we'll first take the whole wheat flour in my parat, to which we'll add salt. Now before we add anything else to knead the dough, we will first heat up some oil. Why am I heating up the oil? Is because the oil has to be hot, and hot oil needs to be added to this flour, which we will incorporate and then add water. What happens is when we roll the puri and fry it, it becomes crisp. So this way you make various other puris. You could add a lot of spices to the dough and make the puri. So what we will do is the oil has to be hot, but not very hot, just moderately heated. So that is done. So this oil will go in here. You see this, the oil was hot, which is why these light bubbles are formed. Take a spoon and mix this. Don't put your hands inside, because if the oil is hot, you will definitely burn your fingers. So this is done. Now we'll add water. Water has to be at room temperature, but the water that we add in here will be much lesser than you would add to make a roti or a paratha. The dough has to be very stiff, so we'll add less water, just as much as to combine the flour to make a dough. We don't need very soft dough here. The dough has to be stiff. Remember, to make puri we have to use stiff dough and not soft dough. So here you need more strength. Okay, so you see this, now the dough is almost getting done, but won't add any more water to this. We will just mix this together because we need stiff dough. Okay, so you see this is the stiff dough, which currently if I roll will crack. So I have to let this rest for a good 20-25 minutes at room temperature. Do not put this in the fridge, because if you put this in the fridge it will go even harder, and then it will be a little difficult for us to roll. So basically cover this with a bowl and we'll set this aside for good 20-25 minutes, and after that we'll be ready to make the puris. Remember, to make the puris we need a kadhai with hot oil. So by the time your dough is getting ready, you can also keep a kadhai on medium heat to get well heated. Okay, so the puri dough has also rested, and now let's make this into small portions. The dough is quite stiff, so it will be a little difficult to roll the dough easily. So what we will do is first we will make this into a cylinder like this, and we will now cut this. Now what we have here is what we will roll. Take a portion of the dough and press it nicely and then make it into a disc like this, but the remaining dough has to be kept covered. Always remember, whenever you are handling any dough, keep it covered. Unless the recipe mentions, keep it in open. So after this, what we will do is just dip it in little oil, because we won't be using any dry flour. Rolling of the puri is slightly different than how you would roll a roti or a paratha. It has to be done from top to bottom with equal pressure on all the edges as well as the center. Puri is rolled even, that's it. So keep it on the side. We have to wait for the oil to be extremely hot. We need hot oil. Puris are never fried in medium hot or in low oil. Remember, oil has to be very hot. If the oil is not hot, the puri will not puff. That is the thumb rule whenever you make puris. That's it. Now what we have to do is we have to check if the oil is hot enough. So just take a small piece of the dough and throw it in the oil. This means that the oil is getting heated. If the dough would have come up immediately, which means the oil was hot. Right now this shows that the oil is moderately heated, so which means we have to further wait for another 2 to 3 minutes for the oil to get even more hot. Okay, so the oil is very hot. Now we will first put one puri, and how do you put it? You just throw it like this. Lovely. The oil is perfectly fine, and press this lightly so that it puffs. So this is it. You see this? The puri has puffed, and after this we will turn it. Once the puri is done, we will take it out on a plate which we have lined with tissue papers, so that whatever excess oil is there on the puri will get drained into this paper. So this is done. Switch off the gas, and here is the puri out onto a plate. So here it is, simple puri. Make this recipe just the way I have made it and you will be very proud of yourself.